What's going on, YouTube? My name's Cherie, if you're not familiar with me. And it's Sunday, and we just gonna get right into it. I had a whole topic that I thought I was gonna discuss, but I don't know. I think this just it rains a little deeper, and I think a lot of us can relate, even if we don't want to admit. And that's the topic about forgiveness. Now, I've made videos, at least a video in particular, about forgiveness before. But in that video, I specifically spoke about anger. And it was when the whole Rob Reiner situation happened. And I don't know about y'all. I know I'm not the only one who does this, but I'm just waiting for that one or two persons. I know what I said, to comment below and say, yeah, Cherie, I'll be doing that too. But I'm one of them people that I talk to myself, especially when I'm alone. I think out loud and I just say what's on my mind. And I don't feel weird about it. Um, I don't know. It's just a good way for me to process things and get things out. It's therapeutic for me. And um, I was watching a video, and most of the time when I watch videos, that gets me thinking about stuff that I be dealing with personally. And I started thinking about a certain family member, and the whole theme of forgiveness came into play. And as I was thinking out loud, I just noticed that I couldn't say certain things. I just couldn't. Not say them honestly. There are certain things that I couldn't say in terms of how I felt, in terms of just certain things that I hold towards that person. And it's weird because it's one of them situations where I thought that I dealt with it. I've been dealing with it for a long time. And by the grace of God, this person, as of this video, is still here. So it's something I thought that I dealt with and revisited multiple times whenever necessary and was past it. But yet again, this morning, as I was thinking, I think I have to forgive again. And I really don't know what the deal is with that, because I thought, and forgive me if this is just immature, but I thought that when you forgave somebody, it was done. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you face something, you rectify it, you deal with it, you acknowledge you need to forgive and let go, not necessarily forgive and forget, but forgive and let go. Once you do it once, you ain't got to deal with it no more. That's what I thought. But I don't, and maybe somebody who may have a little bit better experience with this can type something down below to help me. But I don't think that that's the case. I think sometimes you have to keep forgiving again and again and again. And it's kind of like that scripture that says, where one of the apostles asked Jesus, hey, how many times we got to forgive when they mess us up or when they screw us over? And Jesus says 70 times 70 or 70 times 7. In other words, you never stop forgiving somebody. But is it the same situation where you got to keep forgiving the same thing? In other words, when you thought you forgave something and let it go, and maybe you actually did, but then I don't know, 2 years later something triggers it or rises it back up. And what is that? Do you have to forgive for the same thing again, or you didn't really forgive to begin with? Like, what is that? So, I don't know. This is therapeutic. As I'm talking to y'all and as I'm thinking and saying all this stuff, this is the kind of stuff that I think about. And this kind of content, this type of conversation either draws people or repels people. Because a lot of folks, they say that they like real stuff. They say that they like talking about things that matter. But in reality, is that the case? Because I've had conversations with people and we'll just be talking. And then I'll say something and they'll be like, oh, I really don't feel like getting deep. And I get it. And it's not, no one wants to swim in the ocean all the time. So I get it. I'm not saying that there's not a time and a place for everything. But if something is legitimately on somebody's mind and it just so happens to be something meaningful and not shallow, what's wrong with that? And I tend to draw to those kind of conversations. I don't care about small talk and the weather and, oh, how you doing? Fine. I mean, we do that cordially as a way to acknowledge people, but is that really connecting? No, it's not. Is that really showing you that I care? No, it's not. And vice versa. So, it's August 2nd. It's the first Sunday of the month. And I forgot, y'all forgive me, I forgot what scripture it was where, if you grew up in church, you know what I'm talking about. They'll read the scripture that says, hey, if you're not right and you take this communion, like, you will drink damnation to your soul and all of that. So I take that stuff seriously. And anytime I've taken communion, you just want to make sure you're right. And as I had the bread and the cracker and the juice in my hand, I couldn't take it. I didn't want to take it because I remembered what I thought about this morning. And I was like, did I really forgive this person? And do I have to forgive them again? And if I say I forgive them again, am I really going to mean it? Because that's the thing. That's the dilemma I'm having. If I really forgave them the first time, then I wouldn't be dealing with this. Does that make sense? So, and if it don't make sense, just write it in the comments. Like, Sheree, you talking all over the place. You need to be a little bit more clear. Let me know. But again, I don't think, even with this, I don't think I'm the only one who has these thoughts and who struggles in this area. You know what I wish, y'all? I really wish that when you forgave somebody, there was some type of, like, a physical thing you could do on the inside of your heart. I wish you could take your hand and grab that thing from whatever that thing is in your heart. And when you actually forgave, you pull it out and you throw it away and it's done forever. That's how I really wish the spiritual realm would work a lot of times. And I know, like, some of this stuff, everything is intertwined, but it's hard to really see a clear picture when you're talking about the natural and the spiritual. This is a natural. That picture, that depiction that I just showed you, that's in the physical realm. And I wish we could do that so that it would equate to the spiritual realm. You understand what I'm saying? But we can't. And I'm sure some things you can, because I get it. Like I said, they're all intertwined. And some things you can do in the natural that trigger the spiritual and all of that stuff, and vice versa. But in this particular case, with forgiving and even forgetting certain stuff and moving past certain things, it's just like hearing the voice of the Lord. Now, you have the Bible, which is the voice of God, right? But sometimes I just wish that, and I know certain people have experienced this before, but I'm talking about on a regular basis. Sometimes I wish that God would literally just speak to me in my ear so that there's no rhyme, reason, or question. I know without a shadow of a doubt that that is him. Because he said it in my ear. But But again, this is the kind of stuff that I think about. And I'm going to cut the video off now because we 10 minutes. But forgiveness, y'all. I wish it was that easy most of the time. So, happy Sunday. If you didn't make it to church, I don't think God is, I'll just say it like this. I think God will forgive you. And I'll leave that right there. But if you have a church in your community, I would encourage you to join up with one and get that word, get that fellowship, even if it is in and out. You got to start somewhere. But I love y'all. Subscribe, like, and comment. Just be respectful if you do. And I will see you in the next one.